Good afternoon. Welcome to the forecast discussion for February 28th, 2014, the last day of February. This month cannot end fast enough with all this cold air, but looks like March is going to start off as a lion with a major winter storm on the way just in time for Monday. It is brutally cold out there right now with temperatures in the lower to mid teens over the interior, upper teens to lower 20s over the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area, lower to mid 20s over the southern New Jersey coast. It is cold outside. Currently, temperatures should be around 49 degrees. We're just a bit off from that, just a little bit. Um, with winds from the north at around 5 to 15 miles per hour, it's creating a wind chill. Let's put up the wind chill. Wind chill in blue is a startling 7, 15, 9, 9, 10, 3. Yeah, it's cold. So if you're going outside, please bundle up because these wind chills can create frostbite very quickly. Now, aside from the cold air, which is very impressive, we're also going to be dealing with a major winter storm that is very, very complicated, difficult to forecast for, and one that's going to keep us on our toes. So let's take a look at the radar here. And via the IntelliCast radar, you can see for the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area, it's high and dry, not much really going on here. Perfectly fine out there. It's cold, but at least it's dry. Then we have one disturbance out here in the southern plains. This will reach us by tomorrow evening with a few flurries, not a big deal. This is our Arctic cold front. This is a big deal and will be watched and monitored as it drops south. The interaction here for our storm for Sunday night through Monday is this storm coming into the west coast and giving California some very much needed rain, and this Arctic cold front. And when these two interact, they have the potential to produce a major winter storm for the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan areas. However, there's a lot of volatility in this forecast. I put that out in the snow map that I put out around 11:30 and highlighted that. There is significant volatility in this forecast. And I'm going to show you why there is volatility in this forecast. Because it's easy to say, oh, well, it might change. Well, what does that mean? Why might it change? Let me show you why. So at least you get an idea here of what the players are. And you can see they're starting to come onto the field, so to speak. Here's our Arctic cold front, and here's our subtropical disturbance. On the infrared satellite picture, you can see high pressures in control. The good news is that this is the coldest it's going to get. This is the coldest afternoon out of the 7-day period. Okay? That's the good news. It's going to be cold on Tuesday, not as cold. Okay? So currently, right now, we're in the upper teens for most locations. Tomorrow morning, unfortunately, we'll be crashing into the single digits for lows, single digits below zero over the interior. The winds won't be that bad, though. So that's the good news. The wind chill will back off. Then this high pressure system shifts off the coast and allows the temperatures to rebound into the upper 20s to mid 30s over the interior and mid to upper 30s along the coast. At least it'll be above freezing in a few locations, especially over southern New Jersey, a far cry from today where it is freezing everywhere. And here's the starting development of our winter storm. Here's one disturbance ahead of everything, and here comes our approaching Arctic cold front. Now, we're going to use the water vapor satellite picture. I think you can see our subtropical disturbance. Holy smokes, look at this storm. It is wrapped up. It has almost a warm core-like feature in the middle of this storm. Nice eye presence here. It's not a true warm core system, but boy, it's making a heck of an argument for being a hybrid. A very impressive low pressure system. So I think we can all agree we got a strong storm heading into California here. What complicates this forecast? The question that has to be worked out is as this moves into the west coast, interacts with this disturbance here, they start to interact. Meanwhile, this swirl right here, you can barely see it, is the polar vortex. Let me pull something up here. There. Yeah. Kind of see it here. Right here. Okay? Now, why is this important? Well, the question that is starting to show up here in the latest model guidance is whether this remains strong enough to suppress this. Ah, well, that would mean a lot less snow. Maybe. What we have to work out here is how these features interact and also the amount of what's called convergence aloft sets up. That's like when these winds here start to pack together, see like what they're doing here. That leads to sinking air down towards the surface, which basically is the exact opposite of what you want to see if you want to forecast heavy snow. You want rising air, not sinking air. So this is a very, very important factor in our forecast, because if this is a little too strong, then you end up with what's the new Canadian showing, which is 4 to 8, 4 to 6, 3 to 6 type snowfall. Or you end up with what the GFS is showing, which is a 10 to 12, or the latest European around 10 to 16. Now I'm waiting for the new European to come out, probably another 40 minutes or so. It's currently 12:24, but I don't think we get a real handle on this storm now until this gets on shore. Let's get this on shore and see how strong this is at that time. That should be tonight. And then we should get a really good handle on the storm. And my final snow map will be issued tomorrow morning once we get that data in place. So you can see what's complicated this forecast here. Polar vortex, how does this suppress this storm track and interact with this disturbance? So a lot of players on the field. We know it's going to be cold enough for snow and ice. No question about that at this point. The question now is whether the pattern holds true, as I was warning about, in terms of does this storm get suppressed like all the other storms we've seen? And I've been putting that out there as a warning, saying, hey, here's the snow map as far as this morning. But I've been saying that before that. Here's the snow potential. But if the pattern holds true and we don't see this shift north, then these forecasts are way too high. So at least you know why and know what's the potential here. So that way, if it ends up being far less, you're not surprised. But if it doesn't, and this is just a tad bit further north, I mean, this is the strongest disturbance out of all of them. So that's why I'm kind of holding on to a little bit more of a heavy snow event here, just because I think this has a little bit more fight to it, The other ones were Glass Joe in terms of boxing, and this one's Rocky Balboa, you know what I mean? So this one's going to put up a fight before it gets crushed, whereas the other ones were pretty weak and minored out, kind of like this one right here. This is a Glass Joe, here comes Rocky Balboa, and here comes Clubber Lang here, trying to knock all the other disturbances down. But Rocky is not going to give up that quickly. So Rocky doesn't give up at all, just acts the Russian. So with that being the case, we have to really watch this storm and see how it evolves. So let's take a look at our forecast. So here's the going forecast I have for right now. Again, there remains a high threat of volatility in this forecast, but I don't have any doubt that we're going to see some sort of significant impact on the region. How much snow and ice? It's still debatable, okay? But here's the best estimate I have right now, the first call for this storm. Looking for a start time as far as snow showers and light snow between 4 to 8 p.m. on Sunday, ending 8 to 11 p.m. on Monday. Worst conditions 9 a.m. Monday through 9 a.m. Monday. 9 p.m. Monday, should I say. Well, that's just perfect time for the rush hours, right? Perfect. Nice way to start the week. Now in Zone 1, looking at 4 to 8 inches of snow, all snow, light to moderate snow up and around northern Connecticut. For Long Island, southern Connecticut, just north of New York City, the Hudson River Valley, northern New Jersey, Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, looking at 8 to 12 inches of snow, all snow. Zone 3 is where it gets interesting. Now this is where I think we could see some mesoscale banding. 10 to 16 inches of snow will be possible. Many locations will be around that 10 inch. But that if you get some of that banding, you're going to be able to push up to 16 inches. Snow mixing with sleet at times. High threat for mesoscale banding or thunder snow. That's the way it looks right now. Zone 4 is a mix of everything. 4 to 9 inches of snow, up to a quarter of an inch of ice via sleet and freezing rain. Snow, sleet, freezing rain to all ice, back over to snow at the end. Just a mess in Zone 4, and that includes much of southern Pennsylvania, Philadelphia Metro, and off towards Toms River and south central New Jersey. And in southern New Jersey, generally to the south of Philadelphia, Atlantic City, Cape May. I'm really concerned here for 2 to 4 inches of snow and up to a half an inch of ice. That's sleet and freezing rain, ending as snow. Major ice storm threat here. Now, if this storm is suppressed further south, then take these totals and cut them in half. Take these totals, cut them in half. Take these totals and cut them in half, pretty much. Take these totals and bump them up to maybe 8 to 10 or 8 to 12. Reduce the amount of ice here. In Zone 5, you miss the ice storm. You kind of get what I'm expecting for Zone 4. So, again, we're going to have to watch this storm and see how exactly it evolves. We're going to learn a lot over the next 24 hours on how this storm sets up. So let's take a look at the GFS model guidance. Okay, now for tonight, again, high and dry, clear. Temperatures crashing into single digits to single digits below zero. At least the wind will not be that strong, thank God. Now for tomorrow, high pressure leaving the region. Could see a few isolated snow showers, but that's about it. Temperatures rebounding nicely into the lower to mid 30s over the interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. Now what's interesting on Sunday is that your high temperatures basically in the morning, ahead of the Arctic cold front. Basically in the mid to upper 30s. Then temperatures crash throughout the day. Snow showers develop in the afternoon and evening. Here comes our storm with the heavy snow, with the snow that will be capable of producing over a foot in a few isolated locations. That storm exits out. By Tuesday morning, I think everyone starts to clear out. So that's the good news. So the Tuesday morning rush hour will be spared, but Monday is a mess. On Tuesday, temperatures, well, they really don't move all that much. Single digits for lows and lower to mid 20s for highs. The temperatures for Monday, basically in the mid to upper 20s for everyone. Mid 20s as you move north, upper 20s as you head down towards Cape May. It's going to be below freezing for everyone, so there's no doubt about that. And it's going to remain so throughout the entire storm. For Wednesday, we start to get a little bit more moderation, high pressure in control. Temperatures moderate to the lower to mid teens for lows, mid 30s for highs. And then we really start to get a nice warm up, starting to cook here. By the time we get to Thursday, again, high pressure remaining in control, but we have a easterly flow setting up here, which is absolutely beautiful, with low temperatures in the mid 20s, high temperatures in the lower to mid 40s. It's going to feel like a sauna out there, so be prepared. And then for Friday, for the start of next week, we have a coastal storm here, but I think it's going to remain out over the Atlantic. This is with the subtropical jet stream, but it's a progressive pattern. Does not interact with the polar jet stream because the polar vortex will be lifting northward and taking all the cold air with it. So that by Friday, with variable cloud cover, temperatures will warm up into the lower to mid 30s for lows and upper 40s to mid 50s for highs. Give you something to enjoy and be happy about. At least there's a light at the end of the tunnel here, with a pattern that is clearly becoming a bit more zonal, which means warm air is on the way. So we'll keep an eye on this storm. Of course, I'll have updates on it, and we'll make changes to the forecast. I will make a final snowfall forecast by tomorrow morning once we get data that supports this storm. Where are you? Right here. This disturbance finally over the west coast, and getting better sampling and better understanding of how it's going to interact with this upper level low here. And that's kind of the whole crux of the whole forecast and how it's going to evolve. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.